going to discuss about the rational root theorem. It's used to solve for polynomials. Usually greater than 2 is when you use it, because you can't really factor, you can't really, it's not, you could factor, but it's really difficult to do it without using the rational root theorem. And it's very difficult to, use, there's no quadratic equation for it. So you can't complete the square root of it. So usually the method of solving is using the rational root theorem. And what the rational root theorem says is that there are rational roots if there's for p over q. Now what that means is the p is always going to be, actually I labeled it wrong, this p. Okay. So p is always going to be the last number in the equation. So that'll be 2, okay? So the factors of 2 is 1 and 2. And you have to do positive and negative, so it's positive 1 and positive 2. Okay, positive negative 1, positive negative 2 for p, okay? So those are all the possible factors of 2. So let's say if p was 6, then you would have positive negative 1, positive negative 2, and positive negative 6, right? And positive negative 1, positive negative 2, positive negative 3, positive negative 6, if this was 6. So basically it's all the factors of p. Over here is the same thing. You're using q is the coefficient of the largest power, which here is 2, okay? So all the possibilities for q would be positive negative 1 or positive negative 2. So there's a rational root somewhere in this kind of combination, and that's what the rational root theorem says. So you probably have to try and see which one's a root, all these possibilities. So let's try some. Let's try the easy one. How about positive 1 over positive 1? Let's do 1. And the method you use is synthetic division. I hope you remember. If you don't remember synthetic division, I have to make a video for that. Synthetic division is something that looks weird at first, like when you're doing it, but after a while, you do it much faster. So it's kind of like a practice thing. And it's very, very useful because you can solve equations much faster using the synthetic division. So what you do for synthetic division is I'm trying 1 to see if this is a root of this. So I copy the coefficients down to negative 1, negative 4, and 2. Okay, so remember when there's something empty in between, let's say is 2x cubed minus x squared plus 2, you have to put in a 0x here if there is a 0x. But here is negative 4x, so you have to fill in missing the blanks if there are any, but in this case there isn't. Okay, so now we have this. Let's do synthetic division. So remember, you pull down 2 plus 0 is 2, and then you multiply, and then you add, and then you multiply, and then you add, and then you multiply, and then you'll notice the remainder is negative 1, which means that 1 is not a root of this equation. So let's try with another one. Well, we already tried just 1, okay? Let's try negative 1. How about that? Negative 1 over positive 1, so you get negative 1. You're just really trying, it's a trial and error thing until you get it right. There's about, for that, I would say there's 16 different possibilities, that you can do. But there, obviously, I'm counting for negative 1 and negative 1 and positive 1, so there's duplicates. So 16 is the most possible ways, you can have for that. So let's try negative 1. So 2 comes down, and then you multiply, right? It's another division. Add, multiply, add, and you'll see that the remainder is 3, which means it's still not a root. It's a root when it's a 0 because when you plug it in, it becomes 0. That's your goal. So we know negative 1 is not a possible root either. So we tried 1, we tried negative 1. How about let's try some easy ones like 2. Let's try 2. Okay? Because 2, positive 2 over 1 is 2. That's a possible root. So let's do that. 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3, 6. Okay. 2. As you can see, it doesn't end in 0, so you know it's not 2. So let's try negative 2, because you can do negative 2 over 1, right? So that's a possible root. Let's try negative 2. So negative 2, so you bring down 2. 2 plus 0 is 2. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Add that, negative 5. You get 10, you get 6, and you're going to see it's no good also. Negative 10. So far we tried these. So far we tried these numbers and all of them do not work, unfortunately. So let's try a different number. So what else can we try? Let's say we can try, how about 1/2? Yeah, some people don't like the fractions, but unfortunately I gotta try it now. 1/2, okay, so 2 divided by is 2. 1/2 will be, let's see, 1, okay, -1, 0, that's 0, -4, -2. Oh, there we go. So the remainder is 0. That means 1/2 is one of the roots now. Okay. Unfortunately, it's 1/2. So now we one of the roots is 1/2. 1/2 is a root. So now that we know one of the roots is 1/2, the great thing is now since you use synthetic division, you can here is the remainder after divide by 1/2, x minus 1/2. Basically, this is really a root of this. It's a factor of this. I mean, not root. X minus 1/2 is a factor of 2x cubed minus x squared minus 4x plus 2. So now it's kind of like factoring x minus 1/2 out of this, and you're going to get this. This is the remainder. You get 2x squared plus 0x minus 4 equals 0. Okay? So basically, you're asking probably, how do I get this equation? Well, this is this dividing by x minus 1/2. Because this is a root. Since 1/2 is a root, okay, then if you divide by a factor of this, you'll get this, okay, with no remainder, okay? If you don't understand, please ask, post comments, at first it really looks complicated, but when you start looking at these, you'll see how everything is one full circle, synthetic division, and how factors work in finding a root. So since there's 3 roots in this, how do you find the other 2 roots? Well, I have this now. This is easy. I have 0x. So let's solve for this. So you get 2x squared equal to 4, right? You add 4 on both sides. I divide by 2, so you get 2, right? If you take the square root of both sides, you'll get plus or minus root 2. So the solutions for all the roots, it'll be x equals to 1/2. It'll be 1/2 negative, I'm just going to put plus or minus. It'll be easier. Plus or minus root 2. And that's your answer. So you have 3 roots. The 3 roots are 1/2 plus or minus root 2. Now you're probably wondering, is it possible to get root 2 with this? No, it's impossible because root 2 is an irrational number. You can't write root 2 as a fraction. You can't write it in that form. That's why only 1/2 will only be the only rational root for this for this equation. And but that's what this whole equation is about. Is only finding the rational root. Rational. You cannot find square root of 2 with this theorem. But it's very useful. If you can see, if you can find just one rational root, all the other roots can you can solve it by different methods. So I hope this helps. If you have questions, I'll do another problem, one more, so you have an idea. I'll find something with like a different number here, so you see how it works. Thanks.